Hello and welcome, EDU 360 students. This is Professor Gonzalez. I just wanted to show you a resource that I think will be extremely helpful to you in this class, but also the rest of your education careers. Now, let me preface this with just a little explanation. If you hear any howling or screeching in the background, I'm sorry. It is my two dogs. If you saw, we have a 3-year-old shepherd and a 3-month-old husky, and the husky he found his voice, and now we don't hear the end of it. So if you hear it in the background, that is what it is, and I apologize. I'm trying to record this in a way that you won't hear much of them. But let's go back to this. So this resource that I want to introduce you to is the Purdue Online Writing Lab. If you wanted to access it yourself, you can see my cursor right here. It's owl.purdue.edu. And when you go to it, you might see a screen like this that'll say welcome. But I want you to scroll down over here and they offer you all of these resources. Now, right here is the most important one. So we're going to talk about the APA guide that they offer. So first of all, APA, certain degrees or subjects use either MLA or APA. So since education and psychology use APA, you're going to notice that most of your professors are going to ask for any references or resources that you find to be cited in an APA format. It would be very helpful starting in your career to get used to using APA, because if some of you go on to do a master's, like you mentioned in your introductions, they will heavily require it of you. And also, if some of you go on to your PhD programs, I know a lot of my professors have been very nitpicky on this, and this resource has been extremely helpful. So we're just going to click on APA Guide, and this will load up. It has like a little introduction for you. But what I want you to look at is over here on this left side, just look at how it says APA 7th edition. If you are using any other external resources to help you cite something in an APA style, please make sure that it is the 7th edition. So if you see down here, there is something called the 6th edition. However, I think either late 2020 or early 2021, most colleges and professors have switched to using the 7th edition. So they will require that of you. So if we click here, you get these 3 different options. You get a style introduction, you get an overview and workshop, and then you have the 7th edition style guide. So this is what I really want you to focus on because it is the most helpful. And it's what I use right now in my PhD program. And I just know personally it's helped me a lot. And I know a couple of other coworkers or friends that have used this as well. So if you click right here, it gives you a general format. It's kind of like a nice introduction to what are the APA guidelines. Now, I know there are different types of learners. Some of you like to see all of these instructions written out. Some of you might look at this and say, oh, heck no, I'm getting very overwhelmed. If this is a lot of text for you to read through, you can look at this bottom section right here, and it says APA sample paper. So I'll get back to that, but let me just show you. It explains font, it explains title page. And see, they show you the sample. And it says, so here would be the student's name, the department that they are writing for, the university, the class or course number, and then the course name, the professor's name, and then the date the assignment is due. The abstract. So it just goes down and it shows you how to do different things as just like a general formatting. Right here are in-text citations, the basics, and then how to work with different authors. And then you have this thing called reference list. So in APA formatting, there's the reference list. Now, a lot of you have been using the MLA formatting, which uses the phrasing works cited. That's okay, but since we're in the education department, we want to start switching over our work to the APA format. So let's look at this reference list. So when you're formatting your reference list, you're going to use these rules or these guidelines. Now, again, like I said, if this is too much text for you, we're going to hop on over here to the APA sample paper. I'm just going to click on it so that you can see. It'll give you two options. It'll show the APA student paper and the APA professional paper. Now, if you were submitting work for a journal, a professional development seminar, and you were actually speaking at the seminar and delivering these instructions, or even turning in an assignment for a PhD program, you might want to use the professional paper guidelines. But since right now we are just working as students, I'm going to make this full screen and just show you what I'm talking about. So if you can see here, they have the title of the paper, the authors, the department, the university, the course number, course name, the professor, and then the date that this assignment was due. So this sample paper has everything that I was mentioning to you earlier, but it just gives you a visual representation of it. So if you wanted, I'm just going to scroll through. If you wanted to make sure that your reference list was set up in a similar fashion, you can always just compare side by side and just look, oh, does my paper look the same here? Or for your title page, I know I'm moving really fast, sorry. You can say, like, do I have the correct formatting? So this is just nice because it provides a visual if all of this text, let's see right here, text right here, is just overwhelming and a little too much. You can just give yourself a little mental break and say, okay, do I have everything pretty similar? Now, a lot of you, I can tell from your discussion post, weren't quite sure how to cite certain information. So let's go right here to in-text citations, the basics. I don't know why this ad keeps popping up, sorry. So right here, we're looking at the basics. They just give you a ton of instructions. Right here, you can use the abbreviation P for a specific page, PP for multiple pages. If whatever your source is, doesn't have page numbers, and rather you are citing something from a specific paragraph, you can use the abbreviation PARA, period, and that'll symbolize paragraph. So it'll just have more instructions here. But what I want to go to is specifically the authors. So when you are working with a certain author, you have a couple of options. If you have one author, you have these two options. If you have two authors, this is how you can represent them. And then any resource that has 3 or more authors, this is how you represent that information. But they don't have it here. So I'm going to go to the student paper to show you exactly what I wanted you to see. If you look at the student paper, they have the perfect example. If you are quoting something directly from the book or whatever resource you are using, you must always give credit to the author by putting their name, the publication date, and whatever page or paragraph you got that information from. Even if you are not quoting something, you need to reference or cite the author. So if it is not your your individual information. If it's not something that you know personally on your own and you have found this information from a source, you need to give credit to that source. So right here, if we look at this second sentence that I'm going to highlight, I can't highlight it. So if you just look right here, as the practices that constitute modern programmatic faculty development have evolved from their humble beginnings to become a commonplace feature of university life. There's no quotations there. However, the author, or authors in this case, have cited the source that they got it from. They know this information is not their own. They did not come up with it. They found it from another source and are making sure that they give credit. Now, if you scroll down, this right here, this example shows you what to do when you have a sentence that has multiple pieces of information from multiple different sources. You just throw in a little semicolon in between those sources. So let's go back to Purdue Owl Lab. The reference list. The reference list is super handy because it's broken down all the information right here on the side for you. So if you have any questions about what do, I have so many authors, or I don't know how to cite this specific author, it breaks it down for you here. So hopefully this is pretty user-friendly. If you have any questions, please email me. But hopefully you guys will find this useful or even helpful just for this class, but also the rest of your careers. I know personally it has been extremely helpful for me. And hopefully if you go on to do your education or even do a professional development seminar, it will provide, or it will be useful for you. I hope you have a great day, and I hope this is helpful.